wasn't sure either. I don't remember giving you any permission. Oh,
Yeah. All right.
Perfect.
Yeah, let's give it still one more minute and we'll get things kicked off.
And in the meanwhile, if there's anybody else interested in host a meeting, do let us know. We're happy to add you the permission to the notes. I think Art, you should be able to have access. And John should, Marcus. Okay, so I see a lot of people have access to edit the notes, so I feel good.
Go ahead and share.
Okay, we can probably get started whenever you're ready, Daniel.
Yep. All righty. Excellent. Thanks, everyone. This is the Agent Gateway Community Meeting for July 8th, 2026. If you're in attendance, we'd appreciate if you can add yourself to the attendees in the meeting doc. It should be in the calendar invite. If someone has a free hand, maybe throw the link for the agenda doc in the chat window. I'd appreciate that. We just ask that everyone, follow CNCF and guidelines and be kind to one another and be respectful to one another in the meeting. And as part of the project, I think everyone's been doing that, so we appreciate it. And with that, we'll go through today's topics. We want to start off to give an opportunity to welcome new folks. So if anyone is new to the project, this is the first time that you've joined the community meeting, I'll pause for a second. You could, if you're muted, you go off mute, and if you'd like to introduce yourself, go ahead. All right, sounds like we have maybe a bunch of veterans on the call today. So again, if you are new to the project, we appreciate your contributions. You see we've got 15 new contributors for the 1.4.0 Alpha 1 release. So that's just awesome to see all the new contributors to the project. Really shows how the momentum that we've got going with the project. And with that said too, that leads us into the 1.4 milestone. So we just released the 1.4.0 Alpha 1. And you see here the big feature here is MCP with the support for the upcoming protocol version and cross-app access. If you've had a chance to kick the tires on the Alpha 1 release, I know it's only been a couple of days, but has anyone had a chance to play around with the 1.4.0 Alpha 1, had any issues, anything worth sharing? I'll pause for a second and open up the floor. Okay. All right, well, with that said, would definitely appreciate if you do have some cycles. Now is the time with the Alpha release to, try to carve out some time to play around with the Alpha release, if it's the new features or even if, any parts of Agent Gateway that you're particularly focused in on, just to make sure that there's no regressions that have been added through this release. Let's catch this before catch any potential issues before we cut the 1.4.0 release. Let's see here. Next release. I think we have it pegged for July 23rd. Is that correct? Do I have the date wrong? Do I have it set in the milestone here? Let's see. July 23rd. If we do find any issues related to the 140 alpha, if you can create the issue, and then let's make sure whoever has permissions, any of the maintainers, let's make sure we add it to the 140 milestone, so we can make sure that we burn down any potential issues before we hit 140 release date. Yeah, July 23rd will be here before we know it. So we're down to the last couple of weeks. Between now and then, I imagine we'll have another, like a release candidate come out, especially if we hit any bugs. But yeah, let's make sure that we do spend some time kicking the tires on the alpha release, and if we do see any issues, create the issue, and let's make sure we associate it to the 140 release milestones so we can track it appropriately. Any before we move on, anything related to the 1.4 milestone or the alpha release that people would like to discuss? All right, what about in general? We don't have any open discussion topics that have been added here to the agenda. I'll pause for a second. If anyone would like to add a topic here, we cover that. Otherwise, this will be pretty short and sweet. We could see if anyone would like to host the next meeting and move on with our day.
Yeah, one thing I want to mention is there's somebody whose name is Chameleon Clayton, who has done some work related to Agent Gateway and with some integration work. I need to find the detail. I mean, he was supposed to come to this meeting and show a demo, but he didn't have time today, and I asked him to come by next week when he has time. So he works at Ticketmaster, just so everybody knows. Just a heads up, you may see him come by, or her, you may see she come by next week.
Okay, great. Yeah, if there's a repo or anything that is worth popping in here, feel free to do so, Lynn. And if anyone has some cycles, they go back and kind of take a look at what integration work is being done by this contributor.
Yeah, she didn't share any repos, so hopefully she'll just show up and share what she has done. I think she's done some integration with MCP and Agent Gateway, which is absolutely lovely. Yeah.
I guess for open discussion. Oh, please go ahead. Is that Jackson?
Yeah. So I'm kind of following up on the crypto provider work. I guess like last month I landed a OpenSSL feature flag where you can use that for RESTs instead of AWS LLS RC. I'm sort of following up on this, and I just want to get like a gauge of how people feel about this. I'm looking at adding like a crypto module where you can sort of just centralize some of the crypto use in Agent Gateway. You can't get all of it right now because there's libraries like JSON Web Token and RCGen that have their own sort of plugin interfaces that a lot of providers don't implement. But this is just sort of a start for some of just the what would you call it? Just the calls to like crypto primitives that are across the code base right now. There's some in OIDC and OAuth. I just wanted to see what you guys thought about that. And I'm sort of playing around with this on my local branch right now. So I can open a PR or open an issue to sort of track this. Yeah.
No, it sounds interesting. So if I understood you correctly, kind of an effort to centralize all the kind of the crypto functionality, and I would say just general, like starting with an issue that describes the problem that you're trying to solve is definitely the way to go. And I'm not sure if anyone else on the call has any advice to share.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I'm not super familiar with the non-TLS provider state, but in general, if there's like pluggable providers for all these things, I'm not opposed to using them. I think it's probably messier than ideal based on my limited experience with them. Just like trying to get everything to use AWS was annoying.
Mm-hmm.
But I'm not opposed if obviously they're pluggable. So.
Hey, Mike, I see you
Yeah.
have your hand up.
Yeah, I wanted to ask Jackson. When you say like a sort of a library, crypto library, do you mean for like freestanding, like sort of calls to AWS LC, or do you intend to extend it to also cover like sort of providing a custom crypto provider for JSON Web Token and what we have MKCert or something else there?
Yeah, so right now, like what I have is it's just covering like the actual calls, like freestanding to AWS RC. What I'd imagine is eventually you'd have it where wherever it can be substituted, it will, and it's all through one flag. But yeah, right now I just have like wrappers basically around AWS LCR functions. That then, like, if you wanted to add another crypto, you just add a wrapper for whichever one you're calling out to.
And that will cover JSON Web Token.
Sorry, what did you say?
And that will cover like the crypto needs of JSON Web Token, or like are you intended to wrap like calls to JSON Web Token and replace it with something else?
No, so it won't cover that yet because we would
Okay.
we would need someone because that has its own pluggable interface that, as far as I know, AWS LC has a implementation, and I don't know about any others.
Yeah, no, Jackson, thanks for sharing. It sounds interesting. So do us a favor, create the issue, and we can transition the discussion there. And if for some reason the issue doesn't get traction, then feel free. We could circle back around in the next community meeting to discuss it further. Or if the issue we get to a point where we need to discuss it, we could use this forum to brainstorm and figure it out.
Yep, sounds good. Thank you.
Mm-hmm. Any other open discussion topics? Going once, twice. All right. Of course, feel free to use the online tools if you do have any other discussion topics, or add it to the agenda for our next meeting as well. And last but not least, do we have any volunteers or volunteer that would like to host the next meeting? All right, I'll put it as TBD, and we'll figure it out for the next meeting. All right. Well, I think that's a wrap. Unless there's any last questions, we'll call it a meeting, and appreciate everyone again for taking time out of your busy schedule and coming together as a community to sync up. So thank you for that, and have a great day or evening, depending on what time zone you're in, and we will catch you online. Bye.
Thanks, everyone.